My Origin Mark Pokedex is done now. What's next? Hey all, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 in the journey of what to do after I felt like I caught them all by doing the Origin Mark Pokedex, meaning I caught them all in the games they would all be originally from. I knew there was other stuff people did after finishing, such as PvP and catching shinies, but I kinda wanted to do it all. This time, I'm focusing on getting the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl achievement in Pokemon Home, along with a bunch of other things. One thing I decided before getting into doing the Sinnoh Pokedex from Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl was that I wanted to go all out with my living dex. I was already complete with it, except I never went back and got the gender differences, and figured if I was going to go all out, I might as well get those before Pokebank was blocked off for good. This required me to go back and collect 103 gender differences I hadn't previously got using methods such as breeding and wild encounters, ultimately transferring them all up to home as well, which took a few days. I did ultimately take advantage of the fact that I could do the evolution in later games such as Sword, Shield, Scarlet, and Violet, just as I did with the original Origin Mark dex, as it would keep the mark and save me a lot of time. Getting the Sinnoh dex complete required me to beat Brilliant Diamond. I had previously beat Shining Pearl, but never this, so I had to go through the game again. One of the reasons I'm doing these is to enjoy all these games even more, and as much hate as BDSP got when it first released, I actually enjoyed playing through this game again. Now, moving on to filling in all the missing dex entries in Home, I first started off breeding a lot of the Pokemon that are a pain in the butt to get in these games. Luckily, I could just transfer them from Home to get them, including Apom, Bonsly, Cherubi, Combee, Drifloon, Feebas, Glameow, Marill, Mischievous, Munchlax, Riolu, Snorlax, and Spiritomb. I'm not showing it all here, but for some of these, I did hatch a few for evolutions later on as well. Next, I moved on to catching some in the wild, doing normal encounters such as Beautifly, Azurill, Carnivine, Chansey, Pichu, Pikachu, and Roselia. Others I had to catch by fishing, such as Goldeen, Finian, and Remoraid. Finally, heading to the Grand Underground to catch a bunch of others, including Barboach, Krogunk, Hippopotas, Quagsire, Skuntank, and Whiscash. Finally are the evolutions. I evolved Snover into Abomasnow, Apom into Ambipom, Marill into Azumarill, Wurmple into Cascoon and then into Dustox, Chingling into Chimecho, which required high friendship at night, Skorupi into Drapion, Gabite into Garchomp, using a Dust Stone on Murkrow to evolve it into Honchkrow, Finian into Luminian. Evolving Feebas into Melodic involved making a bunch of these Poffins that you just keep feeding the Feebas to raise its beauty stat, and then once it's maxed out, leveling it up once. Next is Misdreavus into Mismagius by using a Dust Stone on it, Remoraid into Octillery, Goldeen into Seaking, Sneasel into Weavile, Ghastly into Haunter, Shieldon into Bastodon, Chansey into Blissey, and finally Cherubi into Cherim. Pokemon Home requires you to do a lot of trades inside Home itself, mainly for version specific such as Zangoose for Seviper or different regionals such as Vulpix for Alolan Vulpix. I ended up giving my wife one of the Pokemon I needed inside Home and doing a bunch of trades with her, though it took a few days because you're limited to 10 friend trades a day, though I ultimately got it all done within about a week. During this time, I also had to do 50 GTS trades, which I just traded all the Arrokuda I was breeding for a shiny away just to get it over with. Finally, I ended up changing my user icon 10 times to complete that one as well. Finally, the last thing I want to go over are the shiny events that the Pokemon companies put into Scarlet and Violet over the last couple months. Now, I will say a lot of the footage here is really crappy. I hadn't realized it was changing my recording speed until after I did everything. So hopefully going forward I have that fixed. So the first event that we had was August 9th to the 22nd. They had a chest form Gimmighoul in 5-star raids. I did end up getting 2 of them. In Paldea they had Wattrel, which I got 2 of them. Kitakami, they had Riolu, which I got 1. And then in Blueberry they had Comfey, which I got 1. August 23rd to September 1st, they had Larvitar and Bagon. In Paldea, I got 3 of both. In Kitakami, they had Gumi and Sliggoo, Hisuian Sliggoo. I got 3 Gumi and 2 Hisuian Sliggoo. And then Blueberry, they had Beldum, which I got 3 of them. October 18th to October 20th, in Paldea, they had Oranguru and Pessimian. I got both of those. In Kitakami, they had Cramorant and Morpeko. I got both of those. And then in Blueberry, they had Alolan Vulpix and Alolan Sandshrew, and I got 2 of those each. And then on the 28th to the 31st, in Paldea, they had Ghastly. I got all 3 of those. In Paldea, they also had Mischievous. I got 2 of those. In Paldea, they also had Shuppet. I got 2 of those. And in Paldea, they also had Bramblin, which I hated hunting, but I also got both of those. The last shiny I got was a big one, requiring me to reset Brilliant Diamond many times, with it taking around a minute per reset, and that was for shiny Arceus. I started this hunt on September 9th, 2024, and ended up finishing it on October 25th. It took me 5,579 resets at 118 hours and 17 minutes. I'm so happy to have this, as it was my first intentional full odds hunt ever, and I'm glad to prove to myself that I can stay dedicated to doing these. Alright, thanks for watching everyone. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you later.